Hello, students. Assalamu alaikum. And how are you? Hope you all are doing well. And this is our last session, and we are going to discuss the chapter number 15, understanding and managing individual behavior. So, in this, we are going to cover some topics, of course, because we have just one session and we have just 40 minutes. So, of course, we are not able to complete the whole chapter, but we are trying to cover the half portion in which we have groups, stages, and explain the major components, group performance and satisfaction, and the roles, norm, conformity, and status systems, group size, and group cohesiveness, and influence group behavior, and define groupthink and social laughing. So, and and we are trying to cover the relationship and conflicts management and advantage and disadvantage of group decision making. So this is the one part of the chapter, and the second part is related to the team and type of team and so on. So I think we are able to cover the group portion, and now we have to start it. So basically, what is group? Um, from the name and from the word, we getting it must be mm, the members of two or more than two peoples, which are interacting each other and on interdependent um, on each other, and they are working to achieve a certain goal or certain objective. Basically, group can be any kind of group. So we can talk about group in the organization situation. So in organization situation, basically group is made for some purpose, some project, and some task achievement. But if we talk about journally, so we have group of friends, group of colleagues, and group of relatives. So they are also group, but they are not for some achievement or some goals. Basically their purpose is only meet the social needs, so their target is fulfilling their social needs. So we have two types of group, in which we have the formal group. So of course, the formal groups are the groups which are structured and organized, and they are made for achieving some purpose, some task, some assignments, some goal. So and these goals and these outlines and these projects are decided or outlined by the top management, and assign the work and assign the projects to every individual, and give the responsibilities and tasks to every individual, and allot the duties and responsibilities to every individual. So they are working in this way to achieve the project and to achieve the target. So they all are behaving or performing in a way in order to achieve the organization goal. So this is the formal group. For example, um, if we take the example of any organization, and they are working on a specific project. So there is a number of individual in a group, for example 5 6, and they have achieved some target. So the boss is allotting the task to every individual and give the deadlines and explain the nature of work to individual. So in this way they are working and they are behaving and they are performing in order to achieve their goals, to meet their goals. So then we have informal groups. Informal groups are the groups which are independently formed, and they are basically just for fulfilling their social needs. And for example, the groups of friends, groups of colleagues, and relative gathering. So in relative gathering, most of the time you observe that the youngster have I mean the whole cousins and whole same age group have their own get together. They are meet and they are doing fun, they are fulfilling their social need, they are indulge in the jokes and all the things. So this is also the group, but they are informal group. And if we take the example of colleagues, so the colleagues are also doing this these type of thing. They are also indulged in socializing, and so this is the informal group. And then we have the stages in group development. So basically, before making the group, so we have to follow some stages, and we have to follow some steps. The first one is forming. In this, we are structuring, we are organizing the group, and we are selecting the peoples. And after uh, joining the group, the process is begin, and the leader is define the purpose and the structure and of group, how this is going to work, to whom you are going to approach for your queries, to whom you are answerable, accountable, and what type of leadership the group have, whether it is open leadership, or it is democratic, or it is autocratic, or it is participative, what type of leadership it has, whether you are accountable for each and everything, or whether you have some power or decentralization concept. So this is the forming. We are discussing the real purpose and the existence of the group before and during forming it. And then we have storming. Storming is basically the conflict phase, because when we have a number of people, so they have difference of opinion, difference of idea. They are conflicting in many way, they are disagreeing in many things. Maybe someone is okay with autocratic style, and other one is not comfortable with it, other one is believing on the participative leadership style. Maybe someone is very open minded, and other is conservative thinker. So because we are human beings, and we have different opinions, we have different backgrounds, we have different way of thinking, we have different approaches to deal with things, and we have different mindset, because we are belong to different background, upbringing, personalities. So this is the storming in which we are trying to blind the all differences, the all disagreement, in order to come to one point, in order to come to one pace, because it's so important in the group. Otherwise we are not otherwise the group is not going to be run or work without it. And then we have norming. In norming, basically, we develop a close relationship, and we set some norms which are acceptable by all individuals, and which are and all individuals give respect to those norms and follow them. So in this phase, the conflict is resolved, and the all people come on the one phase, on one stage, on one platform. So all are accepting the norms, and the beliefs, and the uh, criteria set by the group. So in this phase, they are closely related and in a relationship with each other. So then we are come to the next phase in which we are performing. We start performing towards our goal, and we are trying to maximize our performance, try to support each other, try to cooperate with each other. And in this phase we are functional, and and um, and the structure of group allow the group to focus on performing. So we made a structure in this way, so in which support the performance, we which through which we are able to perform good, because performance is the main part. We are basically doing this all thing to enhance the performance and to achieve the target. So in this we are functional, and we are working towards achieving goal. And in this phase we are achieving our targets, goals and objectives. Then we have adjourning. In adjourning we are almost achieve our goals, and in this we are no more focused on the high performance. We are very connected to each other, and uh, we are in the phase of celebrating, um, uh, celebrating and doing some fun, and then moving on the next phase, or maybe join some other group, maybe exit the group, or we are promoted to the next step, we are promoted to the next project. So in this we are closely relate, and we are and the group member are basically like friends on and close relationship with it. So this is the stages in group development, and then we have the this is uh, they are represent the whole situation in the diagram. And first we have pre-stage. In pre-stage we are the all members are disorganized, and from them we are selecting some of them from our group, and then we have a storming and conflicting situation, and then norming, and then performing, and then adoring. So then we have a group behavior model. In group behavior model, so we have so many things. So in the next slide, we are explain it briefly, and we will discuss it. Now we are now in this slide we have a, dramatic representation. So external condition imposed on the group. So external condition. So we have some external things which impose on the group. So of course there is internal environment and external environment. So external environment and external condition and variables is also affecting the group. So in this we have two things: group member resources, what resources group member have, what opportunities they have, and group structure. What is the structure of group? Whether uh, mm, they are organized in centralized way or decentralized way. They are participative, whether they are democratic, whether they are autocratic, whether they are mixed group, whether they are open group, whether they are closed group. What type of structure they have? So then after it the process of group is started, and then after it in the process we have to after it we have performance and satisfaction. After processing whether we are satisfied from the performance or not, and in the middle we have task. So what the group task is. So the task after in the process we are trying to achieving our task, goals and objectives, and after it we will observe, we will analyze whether their performance is satisfactory, whether they are doing well or not. So work group behavior, internal variable affecting group behavior. So we have so many internal variables. So internal variable is basically individual ability. Um, Individual ability of a group member. So every member of a group and every individual which are the part of group have some sort of abilities and some weaknesses and some strengths and some competencies. So and then so it's also affect the performance of and the target achievement of the group. And then we have the size of the group. If the size is small, so the size of the group is small and the task is too complex, so of course they are unable or not able to achieve it effectively and efficiently. But if the task is easy and we have very big group and unnecessary people, so of course it also decrease the effectiveness of the group. So the size of group is also the main factor, and then the level of conflict. What is the level of conflict they are facing in the group? If the level of conflict is functional, so it is constructive. Of course, it lead to the good performance. It's lead to the creativity. It's lead to the innovation. But if the level of conflict is dysfunctional, so of course they decrease the productivity and performance and distract from the work and the target. So this is also important. So what the level of conflict in the groups. And then we have internal pressure on member to conform the group norms. So but how much pressure the individual is facing to conform with group norms. So if the pressure is manageable, so he is okay with that. But if the pressure is intense, so of course we are human being, we can't cope with unnecessary and overburdened pressure, because we need some relaxment, we need some space. So because we are human, we by nature we are independent and we need our spaces. So this is the internal variable which affect the group behavior. And then we have some external condition and internal group variables. So condition affecting group behavior. So external is basically the overall strategy. So what is strategy of organization? Now in the previous slides we discussed the strategies. Basically SWOT analysis. External is basically the threat and opportunity, and internal is basically the strength and weaknesses. So we can make the strategy in four type of strategy. S is SO and ST and WO and WT. So this is the four type of strategy we can make. So it depends what is the overall strategy of organization, and because it's also affect the performance. And authority structure, what are the structure of organization? And formal regulation, what are the regulation, what are the rules, what are the policies, what are the um, rules and procedures. And available organizational resources, how much resources organization have, whether they have enough raw material, whether they have command on their IT, whether they have enough supply, they have enough supplier, whether they have enough contacts and PR. So it's also matter, the resources is also matter in order to achieve the organization goals, and also affect the group behavior. And employee selection criteria, what the criteria and what the portfolio, what the procedure for selecting the employee, whether it merit based, whether it selection is on the favoritism, and whether they are hiring on the basis of creation, whether they are hiring on the basis of qualification, whether they are hiring on the basis of um, experience. So what their criteria, what their benchmark. So then we have a performance management appraisal system, and how they evaluate the performance of individual and organization culture, what the structure of organization, whether it's conservative culture, whether it's friendly culture, whether it's a open-minded culture, what type of culture they have, and journal physical layouts, and the journal physical layout, what the design of the office, and what the location, and what the setup of organization. An internal group variable is basically the individual competency and threat of members. So everyone have some strengths and weaknesses. So basically the strength is the opportunity for organization. If individual is very creative, so from this, from his or her creative mind, the organization take benefit. But if the individual have a lot of experiences and they are highly skilled in coping the unusual and weird situation, they have a good decision power. So this is also the competency and advantage for the organization. So individual traits, individual competency, individual strength is beneficial for organization in many ways, because organization need the talented and skillful employees. So then we have group structure. Group structure is basically how the group is structured, whether they are structured in autocratic way, whether they are structured and decentralized, everyone is working independently, or everyone is dependent on each other, whether there is a leader in a group. So what the structure of the group, and then what the size of the group, they have enough people to achieve the target or not, whether they have to a lot of people, that some of them are not working and some are working. So this is all the things which also affect the group behavior, and cohesiveness and the level of intra-group conflict. So how the group is united, and the level of conflict between the group. So if the conflict is healthy, so it's lead to the good performance. But if the conflict is not healthy, so it leads to dysfunctional, and it's lead to distraction from the target and objective, and internal pressure on member to conform the group norm. So how much pressure the group is facing in order to conform the group norm. So these are the conditions which affecting the group behavior. And then we have the group structure, and in which we have roles. Roles is basically the expected behavior pattern, attribute someone who occupy a given position in a social unit. So if anyone assigns some position, so they have to behave in a certain way. If someone is for example, if someone is a student, so he or she has to behave in that way. He or she have to prepare for tests. He or she have to prepare in the exam. And if someone is teacher, so he or she have the capability to explain the thoughts and idea and concept to students, and he and she have to satisfy their student and answer their queries. So and if someone is principal, so he and she have to uh, run the organization in a way that at any level anyone face the problem, so it's her and his responsibility to resolve it. So this is the expected behavior pattern after allotting the position to individual, and he has and she has some task accomplished, and has to maintain the satisfaction of the group member. So we have two things in the role. The first is role conflict. So sometimes we are expecting that we are assigning this role, so we have this type of responsibility. But when we experiencing it's in practically, so we don't experience those all things. So so we have conflict between experiencing differing role expectations. So we are expecting something, but when we practically put ourselves in this role and or in this position, so uh, then we have conflict. So for example, if someone is um, apply for some job and some type of job, and they are expecting that this is the responsibility and this is the things we are going to do. And after practically going to the office and going to the uh, practical environment, they are not find those all things which they are expecting. So there is a conflict of expectation and experience. So we have conflict on expectation and real experiences. Then we have role ambiguity. So we are uncertain about the role experience, role expectation. So we are not clear about what we have to do and what our responsibility, what our duties. So in this way, we have a role ambiguity. We are not understand our role properly and clearly. So in this way, we are not able to perform like that we supposed to do. So this is the role ambiguity. And then we have norms. Norms is basically acceptable standards and expectations that are shared by the group member, and these are the standards which made by the group leader, and the other members are accepting and following them. And we have common types of norms: effort and performance. They are made some benchmark and some standards of performance and efforts, so output levels. So they are like accepting absenteeism and remoteness and socializing. So they are put some they are made some benchmark that individual have to be regular. There is no compromise on absenteeism, and this is the output level, and this is the target he or she has to achieve on daily basis. And socializing, try to cooperate with other group member. So these are the effort and performance which set by the group. And then we have dress code, what type of dressing and what type of dress code they have to follow. And then loyalty, they have to loyal and sincere with their group and with their task achievement. So then we have conformity. Individual conform in order to be accepted by the group. So this is the very important thing. So individual must be accepted by the group member, otherwise they are unable to work with them, because acceptance is very important. So and group pressure can have an effect on the individual member judgment and attitude. How much pressure we are facing from the group members, so it's also affect our judgment and attitudes about our group. And this is if they are too friendly, so we are judge them friendly people and more polite and good people. But if they are harsh and they are giving order all the time and they use abusive words, so we are judging them poorly. So this is also the things which come in the group structure. And the effort of conformity is not as much strong as it once was, although it's still powerful. So it's not a very important thing, but still it's a very powerful force, because we are working with peoples and their behavior, attitude, and their acceptance matter a lot. And grouping, the grouping is basically the extensive pressure of other in a strongly cohesive or threatened group that cause individual member to change their opinion to come from that of the group. So sometimes we are facing a lot of pressure from the group member. So we have to change our opinion, and we have to change our point of view, and we have to adopt the group's perception and view in order to confirm by our group members. So sometimes we have to adopt the culture of the group, the culture and the norms and things and environment and the opinion of our group member in order to survive in that group, because it's so important to adopt and conform by the group. Without it, the conflict will not resolve. And if the conflict will not resolve, so we are not able to work or perform in a same direction. So then we have a status system. A status is basically in this we have formal and informal prestige grading and positions and ranking uh, of the group of members and recognition and individual performance, individual contribution to the group, and so everyone have some status. Some are subordinates, some are managers, some are um, working under other people, some are leading, some are on the leading position. So this is the status system, and formal status system are effective because in this we are organized and we are organized and when perceived ranking of individual in status symbol according that individual are cognate. So in this way we are perceived or recognize the status of individual and ranking of individual symbols according that individual are uh, congruent. So the status and individual both are congruent in the formal status system. So then we have the type of group and structure and size of group. Small groups are the groups and they complete their task faster than the larger group because they have easy task and they have short-term task and they are more effective in use of facts and these are the groups which are made from short-term goals or small tasks and large groups are basically have good problem solving skill because they have a more number of peoples and are good for getting diverse inputs and they are good for availing the diverse input and are more effective in fact finding. So they are more effective in the collection of data and fact finding. So social loafing is basically when we made the group so everyone is not uh, putting effort equally, so it's the concepts in management or in organization that in the group individual effort is decreased. We take the example of this practical example of this. For example, in the classroom when we allot the assignment in the group, so every group member is not putting effort equally. Some are working more than other and some are not contributing anything. They are just sitting at the back and watching watching the other peoples. They are not putting or taking interest in the task achievement. So but if we allot the task individually, so everyone is putting effort equally because they are not independent on any other person. So in this to decreasing this we have to decrease the number of groups, number of members, and we had to identify the individual efforts and recognition of efforts by individual and in this way we have social we can decrease the social loafing. So so this is the size of groups and structure of groups, and then we have group cohesiveness. So the degree to which the member are attracted to the group and share the group goals. So in this the member are attracted to group and share the group goals. So Highly cohesive group are more effective when the group have good unity and group bounding and group unity, so they are more effective and productive. And when they have less cohesiveness, so their goals align. Uh, when their goals align with organization goals. And if they have less cohesive group, so they are not that much productive and that much effective. So high cohesiveness is beneficial for organization, and it's good thing because in this way we have high productivity and we are achieve our goal more effectively and efficiently. And this is the relationship of cohesiveness and productivity. When we have high cohesiveness and alignment of group and organizational goals, alignment of group and organizational goals are high, so we have a strong increase in productivity. And if the alignment of group and organization goal is low and we have high cohesiveness, so ultimately we decrease the productivity because the goals of group and organization are not aligned. Because if we made or if we uh, set any goal, so it must be in the interest of all, in the interest of every individual. It's not only the interest of organization, it must be in the interest of group or every individual, because without it no one show the interest and no one uh, should participate in. And we have when we have low cohesiveness and not good unity and harmony, and we have high alignment of group and organization goals, so we have moderate level of increase in the productivity. And when we have low cohesiveness and the alignment of group and organization goal are low too, so no significant effect on productivity. So it's um, the things we are discussed in this slide. We see the relationship of cohesiveness and productivity. So then we have some advantage and disadvantage of group decision making. So when we take the decision in a group, so we have some advantage and disadvantage. The first one is we have more complete information and knowledge, because we have a multiple source of gaining the knowledge, and we can generate more diverse alternative because we have multiple brains in a group and multiple mindset and multiple opinion and multiple thinker. So that's why we have can generate more diverse alternative and increase the acceptance of the solution, because if the or group is participative and if the decision is taken participatively and ensure the opinion of everyone, so it's increase the acceptance and increase the legitimacy of decision, because it's taken by the number of people. So it's increased the legitimacy of decision. And disadvantages that it's time consuming, because in a group we have conflict and we have difference of opinion, so we have to solve them, so it's occupy our time and consume our time. And minority domination, so some minority domination, because everyone we can't take decision on the majority domination, because we have to put opinion of everyone and take and consider everyone perception and opinion and point of view. And pressure to conform, so there is a pressure to conform and acceptance and ambiguous responsibility. So in this we have ambiguous responsibility. This is the advantage of group decision making. And this is the some analysis of effectiveness of decision making or of group and individual accuracy. In group decision making, we have high accuracy, and individual the accuracy is low, because individual can think not in very broad way. And the speed is high because there is no conflict and decision is made by one person. Creativity is high in group because there is the involvement of many people, and some have creative minds, and we are thinking in many ways. So there is a creativity and good decision making, and degree of acceptance is also high because it's taken by the number of people, and efficiency may be low in the group, but it's high in the individual decision making. So then we have technique for making more creative group decision. So increase creativity, and there is a brainstorming. We can do the brainstorming, we can generate ideas and encourage alternative while withholding criticism. So we can do the brainstorming, so we can gather all the ideas and then analyze every point. So then we have electronic meeting decision making groups that interact by using linked computers. So we can electronically interlink with each other. We can interlink with each other through the IT, and give the feedback and opinion of each other. So this way we increase the creativity of decision making. So then we have national group techniques, group decision making techniques in which group members are presented with a problem. Each member independently write down his and her idea on the problem. So we are individually asked about the problem and issues about the decision, and then each member present one idea to the group, and until all ideas have been present, no discussion take place, and so we take the opinion, and if we are going to take any decision and anyone, and we take the opinion about that decision from everyone, and ask them to write down their issues and their concern about this decision. So after gather these all issues and all problem, we discussed it, and we threw some light on it, and after it we take some decision. So this is also the technique for making decision, to nominal group technique. So it's also effective. And then we have conflict management, and conflict management is basically, in this we are discussing the conflict which we have in the group. So the perceived incompatible differences in group. So in every group we have some sort of conflict. We are not agreeing with the point of other, and we have some sort of opinion which are not matched with the others. So in which we have three types of views. The traditional view is that conflict must be avoided. So we have to avoid it. We have to resolve. We have to stop them. And the human relational view is the conflict is natural and it is unavoidable. In any group, it's a natural thing. It's happened in any cost in any group. So we can't avoid them. It's the natural thing. And of course it's the natural thing. We are human. We can't be agree with everyone, and with every opinion of other person. And interactiveness view is basically conflict can be positive force. It can be positive and absolutely necessary for effective group performance. So it can be positive if we have conflict. So it means everyone is thinking and they are on way. So they are not independent of each other. So they are thinking independent. They are not dependent on each other. They are thinking independently. They are working on their mind and thoughts and ideas. So this is also good, and we can lead them to positive way, and we can take advantage of them. So then we have categories of conflicts. The first one is functional conflict and dysfunctional conflict. Functional conflict is constructive, and Dysfunctional is destructive, and then we have type, in which we have task conflict, relationship conflict, and process conflict. Basically, we have on the task we have conflict on the goals, and in relational we have conflict on the basis of interpersonal relationship, and in the process we have conflict how to get the done. So this is all about the session of today. Now our time is almost finished. So hope you guys are getting some things from these sessions, and if you guys have any queries, so you can ask me on the group WhatsApp group. And take care. Goodbye. Best luck. Best of luck and best wishes from my side. And stay happy and safe.